season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. On first down, they'll start out with Akers. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a gain of 13 and a very solid opening play for this offense. Good job there. Pretty simple. The hole was created. Runner just darted right through.
Yeah, that's kind of play teams are looking for to have some success early in a ball game. If you're an offensive play caller, you mark that run down. Make sure you keep coming back to it throughout the game until they stop it.
On first down, they'll stay with Akers on the ground. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. It's a gain of 11 and a first down L.A.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Oh.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Drake Jackson. And the Niners are going to take possession of the football. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Well, kind of a quirk in the schedule. These two division rivals didn't see each other much of the year. Their first meeting was just a few weeks ago, back in Week 14. And it was the visiting Niners who won that ball game, so they'll look to make it a clean sweep here at home in Santa Clara. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. But there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up a little bit, didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
After the sack on first down, Stafford tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Drake Jackson, and into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Charles, you can just see the frustration on the sideline. Safe to say that's not how they expected this series to go. The ball only went one way, and it was backward into their own end zone, courtesy of the pick 6.
And, Brandon, how often do we hear offenses tell us before a game they want to end every series with a kick, right? A punt, a PAT, or a field goal? In case of a defense, they want it in with a punt or a takeaway. And we saw the takeaway right there, and it turned out to be a takeaway that turned into 6 points.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. So now Stafford and the Rams after the sack, and they're staring up at a 3rd and long. Going up top for Kupp. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. Fielded just inside the 30. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC on the up. And that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 36 yards on the play.
You ask tight ends about their favorite routes to run, and surprisingly, this will pop up as one of their staples because they run so many routes in the middle of the field. How about this one? Starts downfield, bends it to the corner, great touch on the football, and they turn that one into a big play.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. The Niners at 9-5 now on the year. And they come in on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Fields throw taken in by Samuel. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. That's a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. A solid gain of 7 yards that time on the keeper and a 1st down. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
The ball on the 8 still could get a 1st down technically. 2nd and 7. To throw is Fields. Slant route connects with Deebo Samuel. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. McCaffrey will score. Touchdown, 49ers. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Extra point up and good by Garibay. And that makes our score 17-0. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, okay.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss, because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost, and then a little bit more.
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll run for it with Akers. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. On first down at Stafford. Going up top for Kupp. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. You know, Charles, for this defense, look, it's no secret. You're facing a team that is really, really struggling. They haven't won in what seems like forever, but sometimes a desperate team can be a dangerous team, right?
You're exactly right about that, but they shouldn't be. When they're on that type of a losing streak, it's incumbent upon you to take charge of this game early and not give them any reason to hope. Get out and attack them and make sure you knock them back on their butts.
Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Drake Jackson. And the 49ers are going to take possession of the football. Oh, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ballgame.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
On first down, Fields. He'll get this out right here to McCaffrey. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Samuel bringing in the slant. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 19 yards that time for number 19. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Handoff, McCaffrey running right. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Milton Williams drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down. Garabay's kick is good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that, and this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
Now this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone, and he returns this to the 22. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
They'll set up the screen here to Akers. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. It's a gain of 15, and the Rams have a 1st down. Now Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. He finds Hopkins complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 43. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. To throw is Stafford. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Another try after the 1st down sack. Stafford, and that one going to come up short. Low throw.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. The final shot before the break. Stafford going up top. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So we've reached halftime here. Let's throw in a broadcaster cliche, shall we? Both teams looking for a gift on Christmas Eve. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. And from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Starting the second half with a run by McCaffrey. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. They'll roll him out right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary. All of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
Steps away. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Dancing to his left. And incomplete on the deep ball.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And some nice running going to get him down close to a first down at the Rams 22. 46 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Completes it to Samuel. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. It's a first down, his 4th catch of the game after having 3 in the first half. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Trying the right side with Mitchell. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A chance to really put this game out of reach. Here's 3rd and goal. Here's Fields. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. Touchdown! Christian McCaffrey. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the 49ers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it, pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the 2nd half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late. That wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Here's a run with Akers on 2nd down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They'll run on 1st down with Akers. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there. They'll run this with Akers. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. We're off to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 44, Stafford And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Fred Warner. Past the 20. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been rough for this offense, and certainly a signal caller, Charles, that's thrown all these interceptions. Another one there, and this one taken all the way back for the score.
Partner hoping they're holding a nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this rip of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
Garibay on for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Brian Burns has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, I wish the staff luck as they try to find positives about this performance by their offense as we move through the early part of the 4th quarter. That sack, the latest example. Down by a boatload, this offense simply can't keep up.
Under pressure, they got him again. Nick Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Part of my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
It'll be a gain of 17, but even with that, they'll be well short here for 4th down. Here comes the Rams punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at the 15. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. On 2nd and 15 now. Fields. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A big 3rd down play there for the Niners. 51 yards. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw as here late in the season, he goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. That's a big...
And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone.
The Rams take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. Brian Burns picks up his second sack of the afternoon. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Stafford going to give this to Akers. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Here's Stafford. He's got this to the tight end, Hopkins. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Stafford. Throw right side, going to be caught by Higbee. That'll give him 8 that time, and it'll be second in a couple. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. That's out to the flat for Akers. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Niners are going to have the football here at their own 45-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, it hasn't paid off for them.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you can hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you force turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a